My name's John Banks. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, actually Henderson. The name of this artwork is called Tolling of the Bell, and it's based on the old telegraph system that you've probably seen these old alarm boxes that you pull the alarm box and it sends a signal out. Well, the first alarm box was done in 1852 in Boston, Massachusetts, and the very first alarm was actually April 26th of that year. This artwork is actually a smaller version of the piece I did for the Southern Nevada Firefighters Memorial. That axe is actually 3 times bigger than this. The whole sculpture is, and it's based on the same image, or the same idea of a fallen soldier with a rifle stuck in the ground and helmets on top. Only we have an axe with a fire helmet. Only in this case, we added a bell to it to honor the tolling of the bell ceremony, which is become part of the common ceremony of firefighters across the nation now. So when a firefighter is fallen, in the old telegraph system, they would ring the bell 5 times, and that was out of sequence of the normal tolls, because normally it would go for like 4 numbers, but when they go 5, and they did 5 rings, and then they repeat that 4 more times, they knew that a firefighter had fallen. I always had admiration for the fire department, but I didn't realize at that time that that was what I wanted to do. So I started taking tests, and in 2.5 years I took 40 tests, 40 different departments throughout California, and then ended up in Nevada. The firefighter spirit was part of the CAFE website, which is Call for Artist Entry, and they called throughout the United States for different kinds of public art or murals or things like that. And this is actually the 3rd time this sculpture has been shown in public or been installed. The previous one is Broomfield, Colorado. Before that was Boulder City, Nevada. And so I answered the call through CAFE. Public art's been important to every community throughout history. Look at ancient Byzantine, look at the Greek Parthenon, look at Rome, look at the history of art is the history of our people and a record of our accomplishments. And it's been important to everybody.
My name is Nathan Pierce, and I'm a public artist from Cape Girardeau, Missouri. And the title of this sculpture is Fighter's Will. I've been an artist, I guess, my whole life, but professionally I've been a public artist since 2008, when I graduated from Southeast Missouri State with a bachelor's degree in fine art. Fighter's Will is one of my garden-sized sculptures. It's fabricated from structural steel tubing and welded together. And this particular piece has been powder coated. And what powder coat is, I take this to an oven, and they electrostatically charge the metal, and they spray on a powder, and the powder sticks to the metal, and then they put it in an oven at 375 degrees and cook it on there, so it's like a cooked on enamel. And the benefit to having cooked on powder coats is the durability factor for outdoor use. It's kind of second best to automotive paint, and this powder coating is textured, which should increase its color vibrance and its gloss retention. So I think we did a good job with the coating on this sculpture. The title of this piece is Fighter's Will, and I feel like, you know, the theme for the show was Fighter's Spirit. And this sculpture kind of comes from a vein of work that I'd been doing for the last 2 years about communication. So kind of take an abstract satellite form. But what was interesting about the theme for this show is these ladder shapes and the color for this piece kind of reminded me, they kind of embodied the spirit of the firefighting department in any community. There's also a wheel attached to the side of this thing, which there's some symbolism involved there. And I guess my intention for that wheel would kind of be to remind ourselves of the dedication and service of these men and women of these fire departments. You know, they go out of their way and put themselves in danger to protect us. And in the course of doing so, a lot of them have been injured, hurt, and sometimes killed in the line of duty. So that wheel is to symbolize the crutch and to remind us of those men and women of service. You know, public art is very important to communities, and I can stand here and talk about all the economic benefits of doing so and revitalizing downtowns and that sort of thing. But I think fundamentally it's more about the individual. You know, it's about so much today, people just want to sit on the couch and do nothing. But I think public art is a great way to get people out and moving and energized and thinking for themselves. I've had the opportunity to install public art all over the United States. And it's not very often I get a chance to be part of such a stellar program as the one they have here in Blue Springs, Missouri. I'd like to thank them for letting me participate in this year's program. It's been an honor.
Noah Z. Brock from Tallahassee, Florida, and the name of the artwork is The Ultimate Truth. I became a public artist in 2010 when I actually created a proposal for this sculpture, and that really got me into the whole realm, and now it's here. This sculpture is 10 feet tall and 4 feet in diameter, and based on its name, The Ultimate Truth, it's referring to how form is emptiness and emptiness is form. So it's made up of multiple pieces that create a whole. So the sculpture is constructed entirely out of steel. The larger sculptures were rolled from flat bar, and then the smaller circles were cut off ends of pipe. It's finished with a hammered blue powder coat. So I decided to enter the firefighter spirit because I saw the call for this firefighter themed art exhibition, and other than the obvious connections with water, the shape of a water drop, I felt like this piece can represent a lot about firefighters' lives and what they hope to accomplish and what they represent. Public art is important to a community because it really brings the community together. It creates a culture within itself and really provides different iconic representations for around town and within that community. I think Blue Springs is doing a great job with its public art program. They're able to bring in artists from all over the US to really specific themes like this, firefighter spirit, and I'm really thankful to be part of it. So thank you.
My name is Brandon Crandall, and I'm from Kirksville, Missouri, and the name of my piece is Selfless. Selfless is about 4 feet tall. It's made of bronze, and this piece is about the unsung heroes of the fire department, putting their lives in jeopardy every day to save people they may not know, and the selflessness of that action. I wanted to enter this competition, as it were, in this exhibit because I thought I could bring something to the table that nobody else would, possibly something with a little more power and a little more weight behind it, which is what I try to do with my other sculptures and all of my sculptures, so that people really have to think, you know, these guys that are right next door to us, the sirens you hear, it's not just them going to some thing that doesn't matter. This is important work, and it has to be done by somebody, and these are the guys to do it. I've been a public artist since 2006. My first piece is at A.T. Still University in Kirksville, Missouri. It was called Curiosity. Since that time, I've done many other pieces of art outside, bronze work, some life-size, some smaller, and some of my work is in different places like Japan, England, and many in the United States, including most of them in my hometown of Kirksville. So the hands of this piece, the firefighter is reaching down, kind of signifying his place of training and understanding the situation, and then you have the people. They could be husband and wife, they're just could be just two people, but you have a female and a male, and the male hand is actually the second to be saved, which to me kind of signifies that the fireman knows he's saving the woman first, and the man knows that she is going to be saved first. So it kind of has this impromptu chivalry to it, that both of them understand that she's going first. They put her first, and so that's kind of the significance of the above and the below, and then the placement of where the hands are in relation to each other. To the City of Blue Springs, I just want to say thank you for giving myself and the other artists a platform to showcase our talents and our work. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to also get our names out there. You provide us with a great opportunity for marketing, that as we go on and do more work throughout the world, and each of those new sculptures or pieces of art that are placed around the world also will increase the value of what is left behind. So thank you.
Having grown up in Blue Springs, I've always appreciated the partnerships and the sense of community. CJC has had an immense support from our communities, and we just wanted to show a little bit of our support back to the communities. We approached the Public Art Commission and asked or offered that we could have one station for a piece of public art. We were surprised. They came back and said, can we have 4 stations? So we're extremely excited about hosting 4 pieces of public art, which each in their own way show the spirit of being a firefighter.